The economic crisis. This is bad. Hey, everybody, you're watching Bull, Boom, Bear Bust. It is Friday, May 6th, 2021. Happy Friday to everybody. Hopefully, you had a great week. Hopefully, you have a good week coming up, a good weekend coming up. Hopefully, you get some time off. A lot of people are working multiple jobs, while on the other hand, we have a lot of people not working at all. We have so many people out of the labor force. And one of the biggest questions I see out there is how are people getting by? How are people surviving? We see help wanted signs everywhere, businesses hiring, labor shortage. How can there be a labor shortage when there's such a high cost of living? You would think that people would be scratching and clawing to get any job they can get. Well, here's what I think is happening. A lot of people are just tired. They're tired of working and getting nowhere. They're tired working one job, maybe two jobs, maybe a side hustle plus another side hustle, and at the end of the month, still being in the red, going further into debt. So we saw this big surge. It's been happening for many years, but especially in the last couple years, a big surge of people moving back home, people, millennials especially, moving back home with their parents, new graduates with degrees, not getting jobs to be able to afford their own place. So people with college degrees now, many people living at home, not being able to afford even their own place to rent. Skyrocketing rents, skyrocketing home prices. Add on top of that, just skyrocketing everything, the cost of living. And we've got a lot of important news to cover today regarding the cost of living, the economy, the markets, incomes, jobs, you name it, we're going to talk about it. Now, real quick side note here, some of you were asking what happened to the short video that I uploaded last night. Well, there's this thing called YouTube Shorts, and there's a separate category for shorter videos. I tried to upload a YouTube short, and it didn't get put in the category of shorts for some reason. So I deleted it. I tried to re-upload it as a short. That didn't work. So sorry, some of you made some really nice comments under that one, and I was responding to some. So sorry I had to delete that one. I'm still working on uploading these YouTube shorts, but here's what that was. And it was just a little kind of a joke around this meme right here. We've got Jerome Powell right here, Janet yelling over here, and in the background, they're at a funeral. In the background, it says Dow Jones, and it's a grave, 1896 to 2022, as if the stock market has died because of what the Fed is doing with rates. So I put some funny voices behind it and tried to have a little fun. On this channel, it's not always fun news that we cover here. So just trying to make some jokes here and there and do some lighter side of things. So keep an eye out. I'm going to do some YouTube shorts and just try to have a little fun, with some of these memes. But yeah, covering this type of news isn't always fun. If you haven't guessed, I wish I had better news to report. I don't purposely go look for bad news. I guess if I wanted to report on good news, I could just talk about sports and entertainment, which is fun to do from time to time. It gets your mind off of reality. Some people look at entertainment as an escape from reality, and I could see that reasoning. Now, more on the topic of depressing news and the economy not doing so well for some people. I even get comments like this, Jawara D. King, and I really appreciate him being here. He's been a commenter on a lot of our videos. He says, I'm too depressed to finish the comment. Now, I don't know if he's really depressed or if he was just joking. So I put down here, please don't be depressed. Do I need to buy you a strong drink or something? Right? So I don't want anybody to be depressed. This system and this economy, it affects everybody in different ways. So if you see Jawara down in comments, please give him a high five or something, show him some love. And I just want to thank him for being here. I really hope you're not depressed. But yes, this economy affects all of us in different ways. But anyone that feels depressed or saddened because of what's happening, because of their financial situation, don't be sad because millions of people are in the same boat as you. It's not your fault. I mean, sure, there's a lot of people that can spend money more wisely, but with the price of everything going up, it's almost looking like the people that are spending their money as soon as possible are the smartest ones. Because if you don't spend it, by the time a few months rolls around or next year, especially, it might be twice as much. Look at all the people that were saving up for cars only to find the price of automobiles going up 30% year over year, 50% year over year. If you go back a couple years, we're up over 70%. It's ridiculous. And you have to choose between, do you sit and try to save money and hope prices come down, Is the supply chain going to be fixed? Is the cost of living ever going to come down? It's pretty scary times. It's crazy times for everybody right now. We even showed articles here about millionaires, people with literally millions of dollars, at least a million, in their savings, afraid to retire because they don't know in 3 years from now our home's going to be a million and a half, 2 million, because of these rising prices. I mean, you may laugh at that and say that's ridiculous, but let's look at everything that's happened so far. Back when the housing bubble went bust in 2008, people said that would never happen again. We learned from this mistake. Home prices were too high. Everybody agrees. Here we are now, 12 years later. Home prices are way above where they were back then. People thought that what happened back then was crazy. Well, crazier just got even crazier. All right, so it's insane. Please don't be depressed. Let's try to have a little more fun on this channel. But let's get to some important news. I wish I had some more fun news to report, but here's what's happening. The cost of food is continuing to surge. We're seeing shortages. Now, you may not see too many empty shelves because what do stores do? They don't just sit there and let the shelves get emptied out. In some cases, they do, but for the most part, they're going to raise prices before their supply is gone. And we see it with eggs, we see it with meat, and lots of other types of food. But here's what's happening at a farm recently. And this is in Iowa. This was reported out of The Guardian. U.S. egg factory roasts 5.3 million chickens alive and then fires almost every worker. So there's a depressing situation. Imagine being a worker at one of these places here and you have to clean out millions of chickens that were burned alive because of one case of the flu, and then you get fired shortly afterwards. Now, this farm located in Iowa was owned by a billionaire. So this is the problem when you have mega farms. When you have mega farms, they can just do stuff like this. They're not going to be hurt even with millions of chickens gone. This is a billionaire that also owns an NBA basketball team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So instead of looking out for people's jobs and looking for ways to try to isolate the infected, what they did is they just got rid of millions of chickens, fired most of the workers, about 250 people. But this is the problem with these mega farms. So you have one farm that gets shut down and now millions of chickens are gone, and now people are going to be paying a much higher price for eggs and chicken. Instead of these big mega farms, we need tens of thousands of smaller farms, hundreds of thousands. Imagine if there were egg farms every few miles. They wouldn't be as big. They wouldn't have millions of chickens, but at least if a illness broke out, you wouldn't have to get rid of, millions of chickens because it's such a huge operation. But that can't happen. The small farmers being shut down, the small farmers being priced out. The small farmer can't keep up with the cost of living. We've got sanctions now on the country that exports some of the one of the biggest exporters of fertilizer in the world. And we see that things are headed in a very, very bad direction. And hold on to your wallets when you go to the stores, because I think these costs are going to continue to go higher for groceries and especially poultry and eggs. And this report just came out about a week or so ago, I think a little bit less than a week ago. Now let's talk about the markets. We saw the huge sell-off yesterday, 1,000 point in the red on the Dow Jones. All major indexes deep in the red. All of the sudden, markets are concerned about rates and the economy. Well, why is it one day markets are big in the green, they're up a lot, and then the other day they're down a lot? The next day they're down. It's up and down, it's up and down. It's big volatility. If it were really about rates and the economy, why does it change from day to day? Well, this is manipulation, folks. This is simply manipulation. And isn't it just interesting how trillions in spending packages, money that can be sent all over the world, money that can be used to push the stock market back up when it goes down. We see huge recoveries at the end of the day where markets will be down, and then a huge surge at the end of the day. The mystery buyer comes in and buys up everything to bring the markets back up. Well, is that going to happen now? Well, we showed you this topping pattern starting back in February, and we're looking at a 5-year chart here of the Dow Jones. Even channels that purport to be stock market experts didn't call this like we did. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that this was a simple topping pattern that we detected here, and we see higher lows leading up to this latest run up here in the past few years. Of course, the 2020 dip and sell off. But this topping pattern right here, we called it lower lows, lower highs beginning in February. No other channel that I follow called this. And I don't even claim to be a stock market expert. I just noticed the pattern. Right, but on the other hand, calling tops is not easy because they could come in and change course. They could say we're going to cut rates next month. They're going to say, things are too volatile in the markets. We need to cut rates. We need to bring home prices back up. Maybe home prices will drop by a fraction in a couple cities, so they're going to reverse course. Who knows what's going to happen? It's all manipulated. So you can sit there and try to guess the manipulation, or just prepare for any situation, up or down, left or right. Inflation, deflation. I still think inflation is the biggest danger here that we have to look out for. And it's happening globally. Here is the BBC warning of economic downturn as interest rates rise. Households are getting squeezed. And it even says right here, following the latest rise in interest rates, 2 million homeowners will see an immediate increase in their monthly mortgage repayments, with other loans potentially getting more expensive. Add credit cards to that list. Most people at all-time high debt levels here in the United States and also over in UK and many other countries. Combine that record level of debt now with rising interest rates. It says here, as a result, households are reining in their spending, which is hitting growth. And yes, people are starting to slowly cut back. Yes, you're still going to see a lot of people out at the entertainment meccas. You're going to see a lot of people at the amusement parks. It's not going to just empty out overnight. But as we progress into the year and prices don't come down, expect to start seeing some big changes in what you're seeing out there as far as people shopping and how they're spending their money. You might want to be cautious and careful about investing. If you're investing in entertainment stocks, a lot of people say this is a good time to buy the dip. We see a lot of tech stocks came down pretty hard. Some people say it's a great opportunity to buy the dip and it's going to go higher. Other people are saying this is the top and they're going to keep raising rates. They're going to keep shedding their assets from their balance sheet. And people are saying rest in peace to the markets. What do you think? We see the peace sign here, rest in peace, or we buy on the dip. What's going on, people? Please let me know. Thanks for being here. Please make sure that you are subscribed so you get the latest reports. Things are going to continue to get crazier, and we're going to keep an eye on everything for you here. Bye for now. Peace.